My name is Dr. Chim Richards. I am joined, as always, by Mr. Dennis Thamanos. We are squarely in the middle of Big East play. It has been a while since we've gotten one of these out, only because our last one, the sound got so fucked up it was basically unusable.
What happened with it?
So what I think happened is I either got like a text or some other alert in the middle of it, and I guess the vibration like caused it to pick up on that frequency instead of something else, and just the rest of the way it was like almost silent.
Oh, really?
And I tried to play with the sound and boost it, and it was early enough in where like it was just unusable.
Yeah, got it. What you can do?
But yeah, so anyways, we're back after a while. Had some people waiting on this, so I feel like we can't disappoint here, but we do have a lot to talk about. We're not going to go back and do every game we missed like we kind of touched on last time.
Yeah, I was going to say, do we want to do the, what were the high points? We agreed the best version of this team involves Stephen Ashworth, and if your goal is to get to a Final Four, you have to play him and hope he improves, which then he did end up hitting, or he did have a decent game against St. John's.
Yeah, he's coming off his two best games, probably Providence and St. John's. His two best, because Oklahoma State would go ahead of that, I guess. But yeah, we agreed. He was playing at the bottom of his range, was the word we used, but he has higher potential. We still think this team has a ceiling that it didn't have preseason.
Yeah.
We both agree it's pretty unlikely we're looking at a Final Four team still, but hey, you never know. It's March. You get the right matchups. Anything happens.
Yeah, I'm much lower on their chances to make a run than you are.
Yeah.
I don't think they can beat the top of the line teams, or even go to the line teams really, which I'm sure we'll touch on again.
Yeah, especially we'll start by kind of reviewing St. John's, where we're at. Technically, I think this is also mid-season, or one more game until it's midway through the season. So we can do that.
13-4 right now.
Yeah,
so close enough. Sure.
We can do that on our next show or something like that.
Who knows what it'll be?
Yeah, we got transportation issues between Dennis and that. There was a reason that Dr. Chim walked to the stadium the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to recap that, Chim below zero was a great success, but yeah, my car had about 0% chance of getting anywhere this weekend. I'm afraid to leave it out in the cold for similar reasons that Mr. Dennis is dealing with right now, a dead battery. But yeah, my tires are shit, and I've got a rear-wheel drive car, so that thing ain't getting around anywhere. If there's a hill, I am not getting up it. So yeah, I chose to walk everywhere this weekend for our game with St. John's. I got there nice and early, took a walk. My eyelids have never frozen together before, so that was a new experience. Wasn't too bad. Like the rest of it was pretty okay. I ended up walking somewhere close to 3 miles on the day. Somehow the walk from the stadium to Lefties was by far the coldest part, so I don't know how that shook out. But yeah, thanks to Mark French for the seat upgrade during the game. Got to spend some time. Frank Duss, if you're listening to today's show, welcome back. Sorry that we occasionally have a boring one in here every now and then, but appreciate your listening. So yeah, St. John's. I'd like to say that the game went roughly how we would hope. You know, like you didn't blow them out, but I don't think anyone thought we were going to do that.
No. Yeah, it was about what I thought kind of take place.
Yeah, I mean, I say like what we hope. Like, yeah, we're a called foul at the end away from losing that game, but I thought we played fairly well.
Yeah, we played all right. Trey wasn't good again.
Yeah, it was 3 for 14, I think.
Yeah,
not great. I don't have any of this. We're using my phone to tape, so.
I have some statistics. I have statistics up if there's anything. Yeah, I mean, we shot 6 of 27 from 3. Ashworth was 3 for 8. So.
Yeah.
They were 2 of 11. We scored .99 points per possession. They scored .97. We kept turnovers. Yeah, we kept turnovers pretty down. 7 turnovers, which you'll take.
Against that defense, I'll take that.
7 each, which I think end up even in turnovers, we're going to take that.
Yeah, we're going to win a lot of games if we're even in turnovers.
Yeah, we shot 13 more free throws than they did, which I think was probably deserved for the most part. I don't know. It is what it is. Like,
you could have called that one at the end. Like, I'm not going to stand here and say, like, it's never a foul. Like, yeah, it's probably a foul most of the time, but...
Yeah. I know what a similar play was a foul.
Yeah,
Kind of,
yeah.
But,
Well, the one that they're, like, also getting mad at, like, the call diving, like, tackling it, that was a clean play from every look at it I've seen. Like, you got the ball and then...
Yeah, it was fine. I did consider a troll tweet after the game saying, like, now we're even for the Elite Eight last year, but I was like, yeah, that's probably...
Well, the one, like, Ledlam just bowling Trey over with his elbow on a drive, too, like, that's not getting called, and I'm fine with that. That's the game that was played. Like, they're never going to have that few fouls again this season if they're playing like that.
Yeah.
So, no, I thought it was a consistent officiating performance. I don't love the T, but I understand why.
Yeah, I said... it was very clearly a missed call that led to the T.
Yeah.
I'm not even really that upset at him for getting it.
No, it
like
worked, I guess.
It was a technical foul. Like,
yeah.
I think, like, the only thing I really have an issue with is the initial missed call, which happens, but something that obvious where it's right in front of you shouldn't.
The replay, like, he smacked his whole hand across his whole forearm.
Yeah, smacked his arm. I don't know how you don't hear it. But, yeah, I don't really have an issue with him getting that there. And the ref, he probably had to do that there. He screamed at him for a couple seconds.
Yeah.
It probably had to be done.
Yeah. Like, I'm certainly not going to complain about that. Like, it's the Big East. I would like to see it not get called, but there's just rarely a circumstance where it's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I again, it felt like a shot quality route. We got a lot of open threes early on in the game, and it was our good shooters too.
Yeah.
Like, it's maybe time to, not worry is the wrong word, but Mason and Isaac are certainly experiencing some regression to normal numbers. I think they were 1 for 7 yesterday, and that's coming off another similar performance in previous weeks. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they were going to shoot 60% all year, but...
Right. If they settle in at the combined, like, 41, 42, nobody's going to complain about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're seeing what we worried about a little bit earlier in the year, where there are matchups where Trout's just not going to be able to play much.
Yeah.
And that's, again, he's still a freshman, redshirt freshman. Like, we're not concerned yet. He's still shown you something this year, and I think in the right circumstances you can play him.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday was not it, though.
No, he's too slow for anyone with any sort of real athleticism.
Yeah. Yeah, because you see, like, Ledlam doesn't have, like, all the range of shots, but he's still athletic enough to drive by him, so.
Yeah.
No, you couldn't really get him in there. Again, the two of theirs rebounding continues to be a pleasant surprise. Like, you knew Mason had it in him, you knew Isaac's big, but they both commit to it.
Yeah.
And they get us some extra possessions in a game where we don't get many others. Like, I think if you totaled up, like, how many extra possessions they generate versus the rest of the team combined, it's probably roughly equal.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I remember, I feel like we played decent. Like, we missed a lot of open shots, which I guess are physical errors that go back to the 10-year-old coaches who are, I can understand physical errors, I can't deal with mental errors. I think we missed open shots, but other than that, I don't think there's a ton of complaints, really. Rebounding was fine. Turnovers were fine.
Yeah, I didn't see where rebounding finished, but we were ahead at some point.
Dead even.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
They had 2 one more, so it's 41-40, which, whatever, fine.
I think the last time I saw it, we were up like 32-30 or something like that.
Yeah, 41-40. We actually had more steals than them. How about that?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna... I would almost go as far as to say that won't happen again this year.
No, I don't think we'll ever have more than 4 steals in a game.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, we didn't play great, but there's very little to complain about. The defense was, again, pretty good. We gave them the shots we wanted to give them. They made a few of them. We limited their threes. All the right guys were taking shots. Like, Kalk, again, he's had back-to-back ridiculous performances now. Oduro and Soriano have been in hell those last 2 games.
Yeah.
And I keep saying last 2 games. I'm forgetting we played DePaul last week. But But yeah.
Soriano did post a decent stat line.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he had his way.
No.
Like, I felt like every time call could have affected the play, he did.
Yeah.
Because, like, guys are going to get theirs. They run good offense. Like, I get the shots aren't great, but it's good offense. They didn't stagnate a lot. They only took a couple of, like, really bad early in the clock shots. And a lot of that was their freshmen, too, which, checks out.
We were all over the under, too, in
Yes.
the pod.
Yeah.
Which, there you go.
Yeah,
The,
and I think I will be again on Wednesday because I've seen people posting like predicted scores. I'm like, ooh, nobody's getting to 80.
What is that? I mean, again, I think I have this team over under is going to be like 143. That seems about right.
I'd go under on that. I'm thinking.
I don't know how we're going to score, so probably.
I'm thinking we're looking at like a 66-60 kind of game.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm just going to keep riding our unders.
Yeah. Yeah, thankfully we pushed those numbers so far up in our first few weeks that it's taking a while for it to reset.
Yeah.
I think Uconn will be similar in that regard. Like, they don't have the same team out there right now. If we want to do anything else with St. John's, though, I think we should mention this because we both talked about it. Like, I respect Patino a lot more. First time seeing him coach in person. Like, actually listening to his post-game interview, I thought was great.
Yeah. I've said all along, you better get him this year because I don't think you're going to get him in the next couple.
Well, they've shown so much growth in the last 3 weeks, and they're still playing with a very under-talented roster, I think is maybe, well, I don't know about under-talented, but it's not the roster he's going to have next year. It's not the roster he's going to have the year after that if he stays.
They're only going to get better as long as he's there. If he can put in 3 to 4 years, I think they probably get a Big East title of some sort.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that, depending on what Uconn does. Marquette, I think we talked about this on the last pod. They're coming back down to earth.
Marquette.
Yeah, they don't have the same, like, it's not the same 5-man, just lightning in a bottle synergy they had last year.
Yeah.
They're a little more disjointed on offense. They're a little banged up, too. Like, we'll give them that. But it's not a devastating injury. Like, it's not Jones, Kolek, or Ighodaro. So
turns out losing a first-round pick matters.
Yeah, who would have guessed? So, yeah, we'll see. I would project them to be a top 4 seed in the Big East for the next 3 years, probably, as long as he's still hanging around.
Yeah.
And even that might be conservative. It'll just depend on, again, like, we'll see if they can turn MSG into a true home floor. Like, I don't think they'll have a problem playing there against us or Marquette or Butler. But, yeah, you're going to be second. We'll see. We'll see if he really galvanizes the fan base or if they do some ticketing tricks to try and keep UConn fans out of the building. Or I even heard, like, Providence brought a ton, too, so.
Yeah, he is out tonight with COVID, so.
Yeah, that's...
Maybe he's...
I joked he actually did get frostbite in Omaha and just can't tell anybody because it would be too funny. But yeah, his press conference was great. He did not want to hear any of blaming the officials. He's trying to get his team to be more mature. Like, he did his whole, like, oh, I'll never complain about ref. I'm like, no, that's not true. You just don't want to with this team. Yeah. Because that lets them build habits of doing that. Yeah. And that's fine. Like, I understand coach speak, and I don't expect them to be fully truthful 100% of the time. Sometimes you're just sending a message to your team. But yeah, not a group I'm going to look forward to playing on the return trip. I'm glad it's not in Carnesecca.
I'd be kind of shocked if we won the return.
Yeah, I'm certainly penciling that in as a loss. But we have what should be, in theory, it's not in theory, our least likely game to win for the rest of the season. You can make an argument maybe with Klingen out. It's not the same.
But it's questionable.
They said, I just saw right before we started, Hurley said coin flip for tomorrow. Okay. So I think either way he's probably playing like 16, 17 minutes at best. But, and I don't know if I care too much. Like, Johnson scares me as much as he does, so they've been playing. And again, we're playing UConn on Wednesday at Gamble. It's our 6th try to knock off a number 1 overall or number 1 AP team in the last, it was like 30 years or something. Do you know what our first chance was? It was in 1980 against DePaul. Number one DePaul. In 1980. We did not win that game, but we've had 3 cracks at it just since I came to school. It was a road game at Nova in 2018 because they were only number 3 when they played us here. And then hosted Gonzaga and played Gonzaga in the tournament. So we have actually had quite a few shots at it recently. That Gonzaga game, it would have been what, your freshman year? Were you not here?
No,
that?
I wasn't here.
Yeah, that we were up 7 at half, and then Norvell woke up and hit like 5 threes in the second half, and that was the end of that. Great team. Hachimura, Brandon Clark was great that game. Zach Perkins was very good. Fun team to think about. But yeah, so UConn, I mean, we know what to expect. It's going to be physical. We'll see what the refs call. I think that will go a long way in determining whether we're able to run offense or not. I don't think we match up horribly compared to some other teams. Like, I don't know.
I mean, I guess this is again where we differ. I don't think we match up well with good teams. Spread open 5.5. I took UConn.
I would too. I would too. I just mean to say, like, literally, like, height and athleticism wise, like,
they're more athletic than we are.
Right, but so is every team in the top 15, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Ashworth can stay on Spencer, and you're like, all right, that's not the worst matchup in the world. Trey on Newton, you're like, okay, I can live with that. Baylor on Castle, you know, experience over athleticism, maybe that's fine too.
Maybe.
Mason can, you know, like, a Caravan's not going to drive by Mason. Like, it's a game you can actually see him staying in for a little while. Because his minutes have been reduced down the stretch lately. Like, if you want to talk about, you know, Ashworth getting integrated, he's playing the stretch minutes now. You know, whereas even 2 weeks ago he wasn't. So his turnaround has been significant. But yeah, just, I mean, give me your thoughts. I think we both agree that 5.5 is probably not enough and more circumstantial than an actual indicator of how good we are. But what are your big thoughts going into this?
I don't know. I just don't. It all just comes back to, like, it's not. I don't know. It's not great analysis. I don't think we're that good. Like, I do think Newton's gonna do well in Ashworth. Like, I think although he's cooled off a lot lately, hasn't he?
Yes, yeah.
It just sort of feels like they're marginal. Like, they're like, when you're going through the matchups, there's not one matchup that jumps out and says we can't win that matchup, but it just feels like at all 5 spots, probably with the exception of center, they're just a little better.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to get to 70 unless we do shoot really well, which we haven't in a while. And I think you're probably going to need to score 70 to win.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I mean, you look at Shireman and whatever his matchup is, we're probably a little bit ahead in. So you say, like, can we run 2-man game with Baylor and Kalk against Castle and Sampson? Yeah, probably. And you can be well. That's what I mean. Like, you gotta pick it. You gotta pick your poison here. We won't be able to run wide open offense unless they're calling the game tight.
Yeah.
And for as much as Hurley complains about getting a bad whistle, I don't think they do.
No.
I think they beat you up so much in a game that they can only call what they can call.
Force you to call stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit like St. John's.
Yeah, it's not a bad, like, I'm not, like, saying it's, like, a bad strategy or anything. Just,
yeah.
He knows it, you know, like, when he's yelling, he knows what they're doing. But yeah, like, just not a game I'm ever expecting us to win, but I'm still going to be mad when we lose.
Yeah, probably. I guess I don't care as much about UConn. That's the unfortunate thing about this team is, like, I'm kind of just along for the ride at this point. Like, I just don't see the ceiling. I don't think there is any ceiling. When I say we don't make a tournament run, it's because of this game. Like, I just don't think we can beat them.
Yeah, I mean, I posted something today because I was kind of interested to see if everyone was in the same place I was. I said, like, what is your base expectation for the rest of the regular season for this team?
What was the bottom option that was, like, the most aggressive?
You still win the regular season.
Oh, okay. I voted for that one on accident. So
Okay.
whatever. It had like 3%, cut it in half.
I was gonna say,
One of
I was
those-
actually surprised. I figured it was some other fan base like fucking with us or something.
No, one of those was me. I voted on accident.
The prevailing answer, I think, was the correct one, which is just be comfortably not playing on Wednesday.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think we'll still probably finish third or fourth in the conference. Probably third, I would say. I mean, I don't know. It'll depend on what happens with Nova the rest of the way, really.
Good state chance.
I don't. Well, I mean, like, I don't believe in Seton Hall. I think they're coming back down to earth soon. I expect them to lose tonight to St. John's. Maybe lose again to us. I don't know. I still haven't seen enough from them where it doesn't feel like they're just kind of getting every role in the games they're winning.
Yeah, I worry about our ability to win on the road.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
away from home, anytime we've played a team with a pulse, it hasn't been good.
Well, Nebraska.
Yeah,
they
okay.
didn't look like they had a pulse that day.
Outside the state of Nebraska, whenever we've played a team with a pulse.
Yeah, the Oklahoma State game means nothing. I mean, we're the only team in the conference that has 4 road wins. So you look at that and you say, like, okay, that's
Yeah.
not nothing. I get, like, nobody wins easy on the road unless you're in that upper echelon of teams. But what that means when we're saying that is we're not in that upper echelon of teams.
And we are also, I think, the only team who's played DePaul and Georgetown on the road.
That's also true. Yeah.
So that's
that's
a big help.
We have by far the lowest strength of schedule in the Big East so far.
Yeah.
Like by a comfortable margin.
Where we played at Oklahoma State, Uconn played at Kansas.
Yeah, I mean, they also played, Indiana in their MTE or whatever, but we played Loyola, so.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, no, I don't know if they're like a runaway number one, even with the healthy Klingon. Like, I don't think there is like a truly great team in college basketball this year. And if, like, because we having watched Purdue, Nebraska kind of made it look easy to shut them down. Like, granted, they won with 67% threes, but
Yeah, that's the interesting thing about Purdue is when you do beat them, it looks really easy.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
looks
like, because that's why everyone says it in the tournament every year. Like, what are these teams doing that nobody did during the regular season?
Yeah.
Nebraska and Northwestern played them exactly the same way.
Yeah.
They won a little differently. Northwestern didn't shoot quite as well, beating them. But it looks easy.
Yeah,
It's not, but it
physical.
looks easy.
Physical with Edie, buck it up, and hope their guards have a bad game.
Yeah, well, I would even say for the Nebraska game, like, only Smith had a bad game. Like, Lawyer played fine. Gillis was good.
Yeah.
Because they, I think, shot like 38% from 3. Like, it wasn't a bad day at the
It was a
office.
little lower.
Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, they chucked a little at the end, but... yeah, I don't know. If I had to pick a national champion right now, I'm probably still just picking Arizona because I like Payne.
I was
But,
going to say that won't work.
yeah.
But I'd stick with Purdue, I guess, just because I don't like...
I mean, Purdue was my preseason pick, so part of me just wants to stick with that. But I don't know. I just talk myself into picking Arizona every year and suffer for it, so...
Yeah, I kind of think there's a chance Carolina could be that good. But
Yeah, well, they're a team that seems like they could play well in the tournament too. They have a little bit of guard depth. They can create their own shot a little bit.
yeah.
Kentucky's still a maybe for me. I'm like, I don't think they're gonna do anything more than maybe a Sweet 16, but it's hard to gauge.
Yeah, can't get there.
Tennessee's the kind of team, like, you give them the right officials for a weekend and they'll get to the Final Four. Like, I don't know.
If you pick a Tennessee-Arizona championship, you kind of get what you deserve.
Yeah. So I might do that. But yeah, no, Carolina feels like a good pick right now. I mean, I put Wisconsin in my projected Final Four this week. Like, I don't know if you're watching them. I don't know what you're not seeing with that team.
They're a tough team.
Yeah.
6th in offense, not your daddy's Badgers.
No. Yeah. It's very, very different to watch them this year. They just feel a little more complete than a lot of teams that I've been watching lately. But I mean, just kind of to boil this down for us tomorrow, It's not a game where like any team in the Big East this year is out of contention, I guess, because the conference just kind of seems that way this year.
Two of them might be.
Well, you know what I mean. The real conference,
Big East.
the 9-team Big East. Like, sorry, DePaul, I love you, but it's just every year now.
Actually, can we kind of talk a little bit about, like, quick DePaul tangent? Like, I think they're kind of coddled a little bit. And, like, maybe it's just because people like the Blue Demon Degenerate account. But, like,
right, yeah.
when everybody talks about, like, and again, this is all strictly hypothetical. And if you're going to get mad at me and say this is a bad take, fine. But, like, whenever it's like, oh, like, kick DePaul out. One, that'll never happen.
Right.
But two, like, if you were making a new conference, I don't think you'd include them.
Be in it.
I was going to say, I don't think you'd include them. And that's, like, heresy to say. Like, you can't say that. Everybody will lose their mind. And it's like, well, why?
The reason that I would maybe say yes still is because it's a Chicago market. But that only means something if people are watching the games.
Exactly, yeah. It only means things if people watch and if people go. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, DePaul isn't on, like, Fox in Chicago. That's not how it works. Like, they play their games on CBSSN and nobody watches.
Yeah.
Like, having Notre Dame in the conference would do way more for the Chicago market than anything else. Like, I think that's going to happen again at some point for what it's worth. I really do.
I'll take the other side. I think they eventually go Big Ten.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see how everything shakes out. I could see them demanding to stay, because I mean, the world is coming where the NCAA dissolves.
Yep.
That's happening. It's going to be the Big Ten and the SEC. Maybe they let the Big 12 in, but then it's just going to be everyone else in a big basketball focused thing with a football like subdivision.
Probably.
So I could see a world.
Enjoy the last couple of years of the tournament as is.
Yeah, no kidding. In 2 decades, the tournament will not be the tournament anymore, and even that seems like a favorable timeline for us.
I would probably take the under on 2030 if you gave me the line.
2030.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, you might.
It took 2 years to go from the Power 5 to the Power 2.
Yeah, you might be right. Oh, that's gonna kill me. That will be the end of me being a sports fan.
Yeah, that'll be tough. Just like when there's going to be new microtransactions in the new NCAA football game, I'm sure.
I'm positive there will, but like that I can avoid. I can work around that. Like I will literally be content just playing Dynasty for
See
years.
if they stick them in there.
Ugh. Yeah, somebody tweeted that, and I thought it was funny. Like, pay $5 to keep your quarterback from going in the portal or something.
I saw
like
that. Yeah.
Fine, I'll just rebuild every year.
One-time opportunity to raise $5 million from your virtual collective. Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, like, honestly, that would be fun. I would never pay for any of that shit, and I'd just wind up getting mad at it. But that would at least be a cool use of all that bullshit. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pay for it. Like.
I agree. I think everybody's gonna be disappointed, and
there's no way it doesn't suck.
Everyone's also built it up so high in their heads that I don't know why. It's going to be a rewrite of Madden. It's going to be what Madden's been for a while. Madden kind of sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've bought a new Madden game since 15, so.
I have this year's just because I get bored.
And my brother does. And my brother is the one who buys every new game just to do, like, the fucking roster update. Like, and he'll play it. He'll play, like, these, like, 30-minute games where he's winning, like, 77-40 on World Class or whatever the highest one is. I'm just, okay, I don't understand how this is fun for you.
Yeah, neither do
I. But then again, I think I'm in the 5th season of a dynasty with Army on NCAA 14, so, you know.
I'd give up video games for mechanic work the way this is going.
Yeah. You're off to a great start.
Yeah, if anyone needs their battery fixed.
But yes, I mean, DePaul, they absolutely do get coddled by the Big East. Like, it should almost be a thing where the rest of the conference says, like, hey, you wanna do something anytime soon? They don't contribute in other sports either. No. They don't have a baseball team. I don't think they have a softball team. They might just because of Title IX and stuff. They do.
I'm trying to think back to the outfield wall on the mall. I feel like their logo's there.
I don't think it is. I thought it goes right from us to Georgetown.
I don't know.
Either way. I think they're an okay soccer team. Like, they occasionally will make the tournament. Their women's basketball is, like, also okay, but they don't do anything.
No.
They're like a good academic school, but they're not even in probably the top 3 in the conference. Nobody cares about them. I can't imagine they make very much money. Their TV deal stuff is going to dry up if nobody watches their games. Unless, I mean, TV execs might just literally not think like that. So.
Yeah, Rutgers is in the Big Ten. So.
Yeah, so who knows? At least Rutgers, you're talking about. I mean, DePaul does have a gigantic alumni base, but if none of them have ever went to a basketball game, then they don't care.
Yeah. It's also like, I think in this day and age, I don't know how you fix it. Because it's so hard to get any sort of momentum going with the portal and everything. Like, if you get a guy or two to build around, they're gone. If any coach has a decent year or two there, he's gone.
You really do just need to get as lucky as possible. You get a coach who just says, like, yeah, I'm not going to leave for a little while. You get a coach who has, like, a kid in high school and wants to stay in the area until they finish high school, and then they...
And the kid doesn't suck.
Yeah. Sorry, little Craig Counsell reference on the pod, talking NL Central.
Oh, I thought it was PBJ.
Oh no, I mean that would make more sense, honestly, but like both Milwaukee, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, DePaul is I don't know what you would have to do besides just get lucky. Like, even if you have a coach who's competent, you maybe make it 2 years with him, like maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Stubblefield was decent in the first year. It seemed like there was an okay amount of momentum going. It seemed like they got better and lost David Jones to the portal, and the other guy graduated.
Yeah. Well, he lost David Jones to the portal twice. I keep forgetting he had a St. John's stint in there too. So.
Yeah.
Interesting career that guy's had, but no, DePaul has had some decent players in the past few years. Like that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the problem for them. You can luck into a good player every now and then,
especially in that area.
Yeah, right. Like you could throw a stone in where DePaul's located and hit a 4-star basketball player, like literally.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be willing to bet there are 5 high schools within a 10-mile radius that have a 4-star kid from there. So, no, that's not the issue. It's keeping them and it's keeping a coach, and I don't see either of those happening anytime soon. They've invested in the program, clearly. Got a great arena. It's like a great location.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't convince people to stay there as is, you're not going to. But yeah, anything else on this? I mean, we could talk Hall because we're probably not gonna.
At this rate, no. I
might
never leave my apartment again.
Yeah, I still got a little bit of time here, but like I said, I'm not super impressed by them so far.
Yeah, I don't know. I just am worried about it. Like, I don't think they're any worse than Providence down Hopkins. Like, Providence...
Better than that, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, was that directly after Providence went home and got killed by Xavier? That happened
I don't
recently.
remember, yeah.
That happened recently. The fact that we haven't really been able to put away any decent team at home makes me very weary of how we're going to fare on the road.
Yep.
So I don't know. It had I think we have 38%, or I think we're like 62% to win on KenPom.
It was much higher a week ago. It was like 88% a week ago.
Yeah, and I think that's more Seton Hall than us, as they've risen up.
Although KenPom still doesn't love them. They're still like 53 or something like that.
64.
Maybe even worse. Okay.
It's kind of weird, but
yeah, the Xavier at 32 and them at 64 is a bit of a.
Yeah, it is. Which Xavier did beat him by 20, but I think Xavier still gets a ton. Xavier.
They get credit for keeping Houston close, I imagine.
And for killing Providence on the road.
Yeah.
Which again was down Hopkins, but yeah, I guess I don't know. I worry about. I don't think. Again, it all comes back to I don't think we're that good.
Yeah, I just don't think they are that good either.
No, but when 2 close-ish teams play on the road, you take the home team.
Normally I would. Prudential Center's not exactly a home court advantage, though.
Neither was Henderson, Nevada.
Yeah, well.
I'd put it a coin flip. Maybe you win, maybe not.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 62 is probably correct. I mean, if we get a line of, like, anything less than -5, I would probably take it.
Well, it's not going to be that high for sure.
St. John's is -2 tonight. I'm sure it'll
it's
depend
3.
a little bit. Is it 3? Okay. I'd probably lean our side of that.
Stay away.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're a team that's going to frustrate us too much. Like, Richmond is not a great matchup for anyone on our team, but if he gets his 19-7 or whatever, like, I can live with that.
Yeah.
Dawes will chuck up a lot of dumb shit. If it goes in, we'll probably lose. If not, we'll probably win.
Yeah. I don't know. Strong with the ball. Do they still pressure a lot?
Hall.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I've only watched a little bit, like, against Uconn. They did, kind of. I don't think they'll pressure more than St. John's did, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll kind of be interested to see what happens in their game tonight.
Okay.
If St. John's routes them, I'll feel pretty good about that number on Sunday. I think it's Saturday, which is kind of shitty for us that we only get 2 days off before that. But
It is Saturday.
yeah. And then did you follow? We got a burner or boomer request today.
What is life, yo?
Okay, do you know him? Like, do you
I know the
previous
original one.
Yeah.
My family will never donate again.
Yes, he's been around for years.
Yeah, I've seen him before.
Like I muted him. It must have been like several years ago, because he was an original like Dr. Chim reply guy before Dr. Chim was even Dr. Chim.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like the people saying like, is that a bit? No, he's real.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was.
And it's another one of those situations where you're like, let's tread carefully just in case there's a thing we don't want to make fun of going on there.
Yeah.
But if you're being so openly a douche, like I think it's fair game.
Yeah, I've been removed from everything the last day and a half, but I saw what was this one? Oh, hating the Big East.
Yeah.
Which, fuck it. Let's a quick segment on Big East Barroom. Like, fuck Big East Barroom. I don't get.
Have you listened to any of their stuff? Because I refuse to.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They're like, when they say like, oh, let's guess the spread, it's like, dude, you can just know. Like,
well, and they're always terrible.
Yeah, they're nowhere close. Like every time, when I pick fights, and I wish they'd fight back. They'll say stuff that's like 4 points off, and then Numbnuts, who's supposedly the Big East Big East expert, was like a 2-9 against the spread record. Like, okay, fucking congrats.
But they watch all the games, man.
Shut the fuck up, dude. And like, I will say, I don't really engage in all like, oh, we root for the Big East. We've been over this before with the metrics.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like half the Big East teams. Like, I like watching the Big East, but I don't root for anyone really besides us.
Yeah, I don't either.
I kind of root for St. John's because I like Patino.
Non-conference for me, I kind of go both ways on it. I'm like, okay, if UConn loses, I'm going to laugh about it. And if they don't, all right, then we better beat them and take advantage of them being good. Like, I don't know. I think I would still rather see the conference be strong as a whole, but like I'm not gonna sit there like cheering if Marquette beats Baylor, like that. I'm not.
Yeah, I think that's such loser behavior.
Yeah. I'm not gonna get excited about, if St. John's had beaten Michigan then when people care about it.
And we use this exact example. Numbnuts was all upset when TCU got the win gifted to him against Georgetown on the buzzer beater there. But I was like, guys, analytically, it's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, that will not affect the strength of the conference.
Exactly, and the fact that it's 2 points, like that's really no different than if they'd won by 12 or won by 10.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't matter. You're like, oh, that's gonna ruin the conference. Shut the fuck up. That's not how it works.
If Georgetown's 130 in Ken Palm right now, they'd be like 126 had they won.
I don't even think it'd be that big a difference.
Yeah, honestly, you're probably right. At this point in the season.
Well, for me, I don't know. But yeah, I don't. The crux of his message, not like in the Big East, not like the other Big East teams. I'll get behind that, but like it's just a weird.
Well, no, he's like, oh, I don't like the new Big East. It's not
like,
and people found tweets of his like from a month ago where he's like, oh yeah, Big East.
Yeah, he's just
fucking clown.
Yeah, he's
got like 4,000 followers too. Like I assume most of them are either porn bots or like bought and paid for, but
yeah,
these people are out there. They're in the world. They exist.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, sure, it's a weird account.
I'm stamping Boomer on it though. Like not actually Boomer because I think he's like in his 30s.
Yeah, he's like in his 30s, but you're thinking legit guy.
Yeah, legit guy.
What about our other one? Where do we stand on that?
Oh, legit. He's real.
You think?
Yeah, he's real. I've seen just enough to convince me he's real.
Real, but we have to. I think that
Tread
one for sure.
very carefully.
I think
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, you gotta tread carefully.
Yeah, like I've given up on doing anything other than just replying nicely.
Yeah, just going with it. And
Yeah.
Being he can be Creighton Twitter's version of Nepal.
Just the lovable,
Yeah,
always
just-
around.
Yeah, we're gonna all come together and pretend he's doing a good job. And
I mean, do we want to get into Creighton Twitter? Because there's stuff happening in that.
oh yeah, I got
Department.
blocked by Wayne State boy.
Yeah.
Since we like doxing people, you went to Wayne State, you didn't go to Creighton, which I'm not even gonna gatekeep, but shut the fuck up. I didn't even tag you, pussy.
He's gonna find you. He's
Yeah,
gonna
you
walk
found me.
you.
I didn't even
Yeah.
tag him.
Probably gonna ask about you.
Yeah, use his language, you fucking retard.
Yeah.
That's his word, not
That's
mine.
his word.
I don't condone the
We
use of
didn't
that
use that,
word,
yeah.
but
Not gonna hear that word on
also,
this
it was very funny. In that same speech, he said, "I don't block people," and then blocked me
Yeah,
right
yeah,
after.
he always
Shocking
does that.
hypocrite.
That dude is just such a fucking loser. I can't.
Yeah.
Again, we'll tell the whole story at some point. I was talking to Mr. Hot Stepper about it this weekend. We're like, we'll get you on at some point. We'll tell the whole story.
Yeah, I don't even know the whole I don't think I know the whole story.
I feel like I've told you most
You told
of
me
it,
most
but-
of it to get enough.
No, the dude is just a fucking loose cannon.
Yeah.
Like, just nothing to lose, so I'm gonna try and fuck up your life like loose cannon.
Cost his job, so
Yeah.
allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, there's a lot of allegedly with this dude.
Yeah,
but-
I feel like, do we blame him for not getting a sauce one? Like, I feel like if we tweeted at him harder, like, I think...
Well, he yells at anyone else for tweeting at him. Only he's allowed to do it.
Does he actually?
Oh, yeah. Because the one time, it wasn't me, it was one of the other guys, like, tweeted something. He got in his DM. He's like, don't do that. The coaches don't want you tweeting at recruits. I'm like, you don't fucking know. A, they haven't told you that.
Yeah.
B, you don't have a fucking monopoly on getting to do whatever you want. He pretends to be like the police of Creighton Twitter, and like, okay, I'm sure most of you listening to this probably have a positive opinion of him.
Wait, do
'cause
they even know who we're talking? We haven't even...
I'm not gonna
Okay,
say
sure,
it.
sure.
But if you have figured out by now who we're talking about, and you have a positive opinion, like, watch out for this guy.
Yeah.
Watch out. This guy is bad fucking news, and he's too stupid to realize that he gets himself in more trouble than anyone else.
Yeah, I did, in Wisconsin football, they lost a linebacker recruit like a year or two ago, and I guess last year committed to USC, went to the portal, came back to Wisconsin. Like, it was a pretty big get, and he's like, yeah, one of the reasons I decided to come back was because the fans showed me love you when I committed. I'm like, why the fuck you say that? Like, that's just gonna
That's
enable all
just-
these
yeah.
fucking losers who
Yeah.
rooting for you wherever Jay's fan here, rooting for you wherever you go. Shut the fuck up. They don't
Nobody
care.
cares.
Yeah.
Don't tweet at recruits.
No, don't. Unless you're asking them if the headphones were going to be used to listen to Power. Is that thousands of people affected? Maybe that's why he's upset.
Well, Providence could not have tweeted at someone more than they tweeted at him, and they got him.
True.
so-
Yeah. Maybe we need to tweet at him more. Also, other quick while we're on Power. I don't care what intro song you pick.
Just pick one.
Actually, I do care. Pick a different one.
Pick a different
Sage
one
the
than this
Gemini
current
song
one.
sucks.
Yeah.
Pick a different intro song, and then just stick with it.
Yeah, I'm so sick that people complained and got rid of a good one because they weren't doing it right. Like, I think it would have been fucking hilarious if we stuck with that. all
Yeah,
year.
I agree.
And like, they just didn't do the first night, the exhibition game. They like did it right and played the whole like, the building part out and hit the cues right. And then opening night, they're like, nah, let's just do it and talk over all the good parts.
Yeah, get Sage the Gemini out and then just go with it.
I'm so grateful I don't know whose song that is because it's fucking terrible.
Okay, well now you do.
But like because a lot of it's cool. Like, yeah, the old people are just never gonna get into the pregame light show.
Or the game.
No, or the game. So it doesn't fucking matter. And that's something too, because I feel like we kind of skipped over that. Like, students showed up on Saturday. I was pretty happy with that. The rest of the building though, man, like, it just takes something to get people into these games now.
Yeah.
Because it was good after the technical. Like, not like, yeah, I'd say A, but
That's good.
But yeah, like still, you had a good first like 5 possessions, and then everyone shut down for the rest of like from the under 12 to the under 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, so next home game is next week. I don't even know who we're playing.
I don't care.
Yeah, it's 2 roadies this week. You win both of them. I mean, great.
Xavier, and then pink out DePaul. Nice, good call wasting that on that team.
I mean, we the last time we did a pink out against a real team, we lost it. So they probably wanted to avoid that again.
Who did we play last year?
2 years ago, Xavier.
Oh, yeah. So who did we play last year?
Georgetown? Sounds
No,
right.
it wasn't Georgetown.
Was it Butler?
Maybe.
I don't remember. We did DePaul recently too, like not that long. Honestly, all those games blend together for me. I know the one year.
I think it was Xavier again last year.
Really? Oh, you might be right.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, I know we
last year.
lost Georgetown at home in 2020 because only fucking Blue Crew was allowed to go to those games. Oh, I was so mad that night. But yeah, anyways, you win 2 this week, which isn't gonna happen. But then you know, it's almost at a thing where like you better win the Big East regular season title if you somehow go 2-0 this week.
Yeah.
1-1's good. I'll be very happy with 1-1. Most teams would in this stretch, like most even good teams would.
Yeah, 1's the most likely scenario, I think.
0-2 isn't even the end of the world unless you look non-competitive on Saturday.
No, it's not the end of the world, but it further
cements the
enables
theory
my
that,
point
yeah,
that your
we're just
ceiling
not
is a
that
5 seed in a Sweet 16.
Yeah. I will be disappointed if it's not 1-1. Like I really don't think this team should be having a problem with Seton Hall.
No.
But we'll see. This just feels like something I'm setting up to get beat on. So, all right. Unless you got anything else, I think that'll wrap us up.
Yeah, if anyone knows how to get a car that's stuck in neutral out of that, please let me know.
YouTube is your friend. But yeah, all right. We'll check in probably next week to recap these 2 games.